everybody, and welcome to the Be Fearless podcast. We have today a fabulous woman. She's on a mission on helping women to change their money mindset and improve their financial wealth. So her name is Cara Mollica. Welcome, Cara.
Hi, Dagmar. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be here today.
Awesome. Where you from, like right now? Where you talking to us?
So I'm actually in Sydney, Australia, looking out at the Sydney Harbour Bridge, or a glimpse of the Sydney Harbour Bridge at the moment, where, I live here between Sydney and Perth at the moment because travel's a little bit restricted. So, from Australia. I grew up in Perth all my life and have been in Sydney for about 4 or 5 years now.
That's fantastic. So tell me, Cara, because I ask everybody this same question before you tell us your success story. I always ask this question, and that's it. What was your dream growing up? Like,
my dream growing up?
Yes.
So as a teenager, I always loved fashion. I loved clothes. I loved getting dressed up. I couldn't wait to finish school to be able to get dressed up in corporate wear. And one of my very best friends is was a budding fashion designer. So we were always going to go into retail together. So she was going to design, I was going to sort of manage and be in business around the store. So I could combine my two passions of, fashion and business.
That's fantastic. So you grew up, what happened? Did you got into your dream job or you diverted from it?
No, I definitely diverted from that. So I still love fashion. We didn't go into that, but I did a whole bunch of different things, throughout my career and throughout my 20s and early 30s before I really I think I always knew what my passion was. I always knew what I wanted to do, but I guess gave myself permission to actually do that. So it's been quite a journey, quite a few different roles and experiences along the way. Before I got here I've always worked around money with, in finance, but now in money mindset coaching and helping women transform their relationship with money so they can have everything that they desire and everything that they want to live, whatever that looks like for them.
That's fantastic. So let me ask you the question: Why focusing on changing our mindset into money? Tell us what's that important.
Yeah, so money is such a taboo topic, even still today in society. We've come a long way, but there's always this misconception around money and it's just not spoken about. And it's one thing that really limits us more than anything else, and it impacts every single aspect of our life. It impacts our health. It impacts our relationships. It impacts our ability to do things. It impacts our ability to get out of situations that are not safe for us or that we don't want to be in. It impacts absolutely everything. So if we can master our relationship with money, if we can really dig deep into our money mindset and our money stories, then, the world really is our oyster and we can have and, do and be whatever that we want to be.
That's fantastic. That's true. I mean, our relationship with money is so important as any other kind of relationship that we can have as a human. I mean, that's basic. So tell us a little bit more what you do.
Yeah, so what I do with my clients is we really dig deep into your money history and your money story. So we'll go through all of your memories around money, and we look for patterns and we look for limiting beliefs and sabotaging beliefs that are playing out in your practical reality. So 95% of all of our decisions come from the subconscious mind. If we're not aware of our subconscious patterns around money, then it's going to be very difficult for us to have, success or, bring things into our lives. So quite often we'll see is, there's so many elements to money mindset, but one really important one is our financial set point. So you'll see that over 12 months or 2 years, 5 years, even 10 years, people won't move outside of that range. So they'll have a lower limit and an upper limit. As soon as they go above that upper limit, they'll do something, sabotage themselves and come back within that range, unless they reprogram their beliefs, reprogram their mindset to believe that they're worthy of having that additional money. And this is for income. If you're in business or salaried employee, it's for the assets that you have, cash in the bank, the assets that you have. It impacts all of that. Unless we've reprogrammed ourselves, we're not going to be able to hold on to that money, and it will be short-lived.
Okay, I love it. I love it. And that's so true. I mean, like, I think that it also has to do with, hold on one second. My apologies for that. But I do believe that it also has to do with also how we as a society think about money, or with taught to think about money. What do you think is the hardest issue, or the biggest roadblock that a person can have in their mind in order to change that belief in their relationship with money?
Yeah, so I work with archetypes, and the most common ones I see is with women is around this. There's two, actually. So there's the innocent archetype, where we'll bury our head in the sand. We just don't want to know about it. We're really easily overwhelmed by financial matters, and we simply just don't look at it, so we're not aware of what's going on around us. And as you can imagine, if you don't know what's going on around you, you can get yourself into some pretty, sticky situations. And it's not that we don't have the ability, it's really around confidence, because we've been conditioned through society, through familial upbringings, to be like that, to not worry about that, to just hope that it'll go away, and want someone to come in and, I guess, save us. So that is, I guess, one aspect that I see. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, where we feel like we have to work incredibly hard and sacrifice everything else. We have to sacrifice relationships. We have to sacrifice family time. We have to sacrifice our health and doing things that we love to get ahead. And that, manifests in the practical reality, where we just, work incredibly hard. And, this was something that really challenged me for a while, and I had to overcome, in that, I am innately worthy of, I can have it all. And it doesn't mean I have to kill myself in the meantime by working, ridiculous hours and sacrificing everything else. It doesn't have to be like that.
That is completely true. I agree. It doesn't have to be like that. So, what do you think it will be like the first thing that a person needs to do in order to change their mindset in regards to letting that belief go of that enslaving 9 to 5 that we all are all like thought, and we being like brainwashed with? Like, what will be like the first step?
So the very first step in any of this is the awareness piece. So it's really digging deep and looking into all of your memories around money to become aware of what's actually going on in the subconscious mind. Because until we do this work, we don't even know that this is happening. We may intellectually know, but we haven't drawn the links. So that awareness piece is just so key. And then depending on what it is that's sabotaging you, we need to release that from the body. We need to release that energy to enable us to imprint new beliefs, to choose new beliefs that are empowering, that where we feel confident, where we know that, we can do things differently, we can do life differently, and that's okay.
Exactly, and that's okay. I love it. Like I agree with everything that you just said. It's so true. Um, Let me ask you a question. How long do you think usually? I mean, is there like a specific time that it takes a person to go through the whole process, or is this done within a time frame, a specific time frame?
So yeah, it's definitely an ongoing journey, and we need to work on our relationship with money every single day. So, I still do this every day. It's part of my daily practice, and it's not something that we just can do once and then like it's done and we're all good. It's like, exercise or, getting a personal trainer or, getting into shape. We know we can't just go to the gym for a month and then stay in shape for the rest of our life. Money is the same thing. We need to actually have a relationship with it and actually work on it daily. But to go through, I guess, the first, if you haven't explored this, or you're not getting the results that you want in your life, a good place to start is, say, 6 months. And that really gives us enough time to really dig deep into what's going on in the subconscious mind, to uncover the stories and start to work through them.
Oh, wow. And what is the longest that one, I mean, your clients have taken, to go through the whole process and achieve the goal to finally let go of these limiting beliefs?
Yeah, so, normally we can do it within 6 months, but there's always like I call it the next level, the same devil, and it's like peeling an onion. So there's layers of everything. So we may get through, a limiting belief and overcome it for a certain income rise or a certain, for them to increase assets. But then at every single level, we need to go through that generally again and again and again at a deeper level to get to the next level.
Wow. Um, I guess that my next question will be, what is the hardest investment that a person actually, or what is let me rephrase this. What will be the thing that is the hardest for an individual to invest in? Is that themselves, or invest on a property, or in what actually
Yeah, so it's a very individual thing. So some people, will save all their money and like also basically like hoard all their money and live really frugally and not allow themselves to enjoy life. Other people may be on the other end of the spectrum where, they always have to have the latest iPhone, the latest Gucci bag, the latest Louis Vuitton, whatever it may be for them. And so it is quite individual in that we all have, I guess, our own thing, from our upbringing, from our beliefs, from the stories that we tell ourselves. And it's whether that's serving us and it's whether that's bringing us joy that's ultimately what matters. So, I'm not here to say, no, you can't have something, but it's about, well, how do you feel when you have that? Do you have regret after that purchase and remorse, or does it light you up and make you feel amazing? And are you still able to do other things? Is it becoming the reason you say no to holidays or in building a safety net or building for retirement, or are you doing those as well?
wow. And
Definitely a combination.
yes. And I think that the other question, because you just mentioned stories, and is has been like kind of repetitive thing throughout our conversation. It just makes me wonder, what is the most common story that you heard from your clients when they first meet with you?
Yeah, so I tend to attract clients who are similar to myself. So it's very much around the story that it has to be hard, that I have to sacrifice, that I can't have really good family relationships or an intimate relationship as well as having success and money. I can't have health as well as having success and money. So it's really this I can have this or that. I can't have both. And that's something that's sort of really common that comes up with my clients. And I think it's common, in the Western world, where a lot of people are children of immigrant families, and that was what they needed to do to survive. And so that's been imprinted in us, that that's the only way, or our subconscious believes that that's the only way that we can get ahead. It's all we know. It's what we've learned and seen. And then also that, there can be guilt and shame around not doing that because our parents have done that. So it's really understanding that and overcoming that, because, they didn't work that hard and do that for us to work harder and do exactly the same in a different way in this generation. They did it so we would have a better life.
That's right. And what will be the biggest advice that you will give our audience in regards to themselves, getting into a better relationship with money? Like, what will be your biggest advice?
So my number one tip is to be mindful and conscious around money. So just start to observe your thoughts when you make purchases, and make purchases consciously. Don't do it from a unconscious level where you're like, oh my God, I've had a terrible day. I'm stuck inside. We can't go out. We're in lockdown. I'm just going to go binge shop. Make sure your purchases and your decisions are very conscious, and just be mindful of what goes on in your mind when you make purchases, or are you doing it the other way, out of fear that money will run out. So I can't order in that dinner because, I shouldn't do that. I've got food in the fridge. Or, what's the emotion and the intent behind the purchase? That's really what's key. It's not the actual purchase.
Thank you. I love those tips. Now that you mentioned fear, especially during this COVID, situation, have you seen like any change in trends on how people like think about money, especially during this time with COVID, or is still
Yes.
that fear has getting stronger than before?
Yeah, so it was definitely a point in time where I think, especially at the beginning with a high degree of uncertainty, and, we've been super fortunate in Australia that, we have been impacted, but by no means as significantly as other parts of the world. But certainly at the beginning, there was this fear around, job security, income certainty, what would happen. And Australia has seen the highest saving rates that they've seen in a very long time during this time period. Things are starting to, I don't want to say normalize, they are starting to change a little bit here in Australia. And there's more confidence in the economy and in society. But I definitely did see, this shift to saving and having a security, an emergency fund, a security blanket, for lack of a better word, during that time. Now, what I think it did expose is that we are not prepared, and a lot of people, regardless of income, regardless of how much they're bringing in their business, are living week to week, month to month. And that creates a lot of stress and it creates a lot of burden. And especially, when events that are unprecedented happen, it adds to it when we have so many other things that we're worried about. So really the work that I do is around, making sure that money isn't the reason that you're not able to do something. So, that is so important at the moment in relation to healthcare, and so you can look after loved ones if you choose to. So you can do things, you have choices and you have freedom.
That's so important. Thank you so much for that. So you teach people do this, and you have done it through the whole COVID situation as well. Where people can actually find you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. It's savvy.wealth on Instagram. So it's SAVVY.wealth. It's also Savvy Wealth on Facebook. So I'm, put out a lot of free content and free information on there. You can also, contact me directly in the DMs or, via email. I'm more than happy to chat to you there.
Okay, and then you also have a quiz that people do
Yeah.
to see how they're doing with how's their relationship with money.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a money type quiz. So basically you go and do the quiz, and what that does is it identifies what archetype you are, and it shows, what area you may need to focus on and what potentially is blocking you or limiting and sabotaging you from moving forward. So if you do that quiz, I'll send you through some information on your results, and we can get in touch that way.
That's perfect. I love it. I am gonna be doing my quiz soon.
Yeah. It gives so many insights. It's really a great tool.
Yes, definitely. Oh my God, you're so amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us and what you do with everybody here in the audience. So, I appreciate you for taking off your time to be here with us in the Be Fearless podcast. And everybody out there, you heard the lady. If you want to know what kind of relationship you have with your money, you need to take her test. All right. So this is going to be it for today. Thank you for so much, Cara, for being here. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to the podcast, and to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye, Cara.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.